version of you, more often than not, is a story that you tell yourself, or the stories that you tell yourself about what it is that you're capable of doing. You define yourself by your past failures, by what other people have defined you as, perhaps what your worst thoughts about yourself are or have been up until now. But what if old habits didn't have to die hard? What if you just gave yourself permission to do differently? I used to place so much emphasis on identity and feeling a certain way in order to execute and perform a certain action. I've been reading Atomic Habits and I haven't yet finished it, but I've realized an echo of that in there about how the lasting change comes from an identity shift. I knew this a few years ago. I'd kind of come to the same conclusion. I think the first time I'd heard of it was through Mind Valley. However, my mistake was in thinking that I would need to suddenly feel like that person in order to create sustainable change. You don't need to feel like that person. You just need to recognize what they would do, and the time that you spend in the middle is what you need to eliminate. You need to commit to one hard. Forgive me if I'm not making sense. I'll clear it up for you in a second. Think about what you currently do. That's hard. That's hard because you know that you're not meeting your potential. It's hard because you know that you're going to reap the consequences of what it is that you're doing now. You know that an outcome is awaiting you. You know that the sum of what you do is awaiting you. Equally, doing the difficult thing is also hard. If you stay in the middle, in a state of indecision, you don't commit to either side, you flip-flop, you only delay an outcome, you get 50% of either side, you get a wishy-washy outcome. Your time should not be spent stressed, thinking, I need to feel like this, I need to feel motivated, I need to feel like that person, I need to feel empowered, I need to feel confident in order to act like a confident person and take confident actions. No, your energy should instead be spent on the practicing of that identity, irrespective of how you feel. If you're looking to be a disciplined person, let's define that. For me, for example, right now, my current thing that I'm working on is not eating refined sugar for the next 4 months. At all. I mean, I guess a little sauce here and there, but not like to the extent I was, like desserts and all of that. Can I define myself as somebody who doesn't eat sugar? Yes and no, because up until this point, that's not been me. For me to stand here and say, oh, I'm not going to be this, and I'm not this, and I'm not that, it's hard for me to believe, because I know how many times I've tried that, and it hasn't worked. You might relate. What I'm saying to myself is this: I don't eat refined sugar. I don't eat dessert. I place it as a thought, as an intention, and then I don't stress about it. I leave it as it is. I leave that as my simple rule, my guideline, and I spend the rest of my time. This is the key part. I spend the rest of my time taking the action of not eating sugar. It doesn't matter what comes out here, it matters what you do. It's about walking the walk, irrespective of how you feel. And it's in the practicing of walking the walk, it's in the practicing of the action, the doing, that you inevitably make progress, and you become confidently that identity. It's the practicing that gets rid of the imposter syndrome. Old habits don't have to die hard. It can feel that way, but that more often than not is because of what we're telling ourselves. As long as you keep putting the reps in, you're making progress, and you might not see it now, but all of your effort will compound. I think that's all I have to say for now. I'm very tired. I'm sorry if I didn't make much sense. But you can choose to do differently. That's what I want to remind you of, is that it's a continuous choice. It's all a choice. It's a choice to not buy that thing. And I think we we forget the power that we have to do differently. You can choose to be different. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but recognizing that you have a choice can be incredibly freeing, and it can release a lot of unnecessary pressure. Stop waiting to feel ready. You are ready as you are. Imperfect conditions is where things start. I'm just thinking if I have anything else left to say. Yeah, old habits really don't have to die hard. It's about what you want. And if you focus, irrespective of what comes up, however many setbacks or moments of doubt, etc., if you've made up your mind